I have proof that my spoiled sister is after my boyfriend, and my parents do not care. I have undeniable proof that my spoiled golden child sister had a thing for my boyfriend. And what pisses me off the most? My parents do not care one bit. I share an apartment with my younger sister Emily. She started college this summer, and my parents asked if she could stay with me. The reasoning was pretty straightforward one. She was going to school in the same city where I worked, and two, I was already looking for a roommate. Now, Emily and I have never been particularly close, and I have never been my parents' favorite, but I figured maybe this would give us a chance to bond. Plus, she could not afford a place on her own, so I agreed. It was not long before I realized I had made a huge mistake. Every single time my boyfriend Jason comes over, Emily makes sure to prance around the apartment in nothing but her underwear. I am talking about little lace thongs, tiny tank tops that barely cover her, and a complete lack of shame. It is like she waits for us to be hanging out in the kitchen cooking dinner or watching a movie on the couch before she suddenly decides she needs to walk through the room half naked. Jason, being the great guy he is, always looks away or finds an excuse to leave the room. I have flat out told her it is not okay. I said, "Look, Emily, it is completely inappropriate to be walking around like that when my boyfriend is over." But every time she brushes me off like I am the one making a big deal out of it. "He is like family," she says, "so he should not care. I just want to be comfortable in my own home." It is not just the way she dresses, though. Whenever Jason and I go into my bedroom, whether to talk, watch something, or do anything remotely private, Emily finds an excuse to barge in. She knocks, opens the door without waiting, and makes up ridiculous reasons why she suddenly needs something from me. Sometimes she will claim she is lonely and wants us to come back and hang out with her. But funnily enough, she only seems to feel lonely when Jason and I are alone together. Once, she even asked him to come kill a spider in her room. This is the same girl who has lived alone and handled way worse things on her own. I have told her straight up to back off. She does not listen. Jason has also told me something that made my skin crawl. When I am not around, if I go to the bathroom or step out for a minute, Emily takes that as her opportunity to start asking him wildly inappropriate questions. "What is your favorite position?" Mine is, "How many girls did you hook up with before you met my sister? I bet all the girls were chasing after you back in the day. Boys in my school always wanted to hook up with me, you know?" She even goes as far as modeling outfits for him and fishing for compliments, asking, "Do you think I look hot?" Jason either ignores her completely or shuts her down, telling her he is not interested in having those conversations. The final straw came when I was in her room looking for my makeup and perfume things she constantly takes without asking, and I saw her laptop open with Facebook pulled up. I was about to close it when I noticed something disturbing. There was a chat open with her best friend, and my boyfriend's pictures were right there in the conversation. That is what made me stop and read. "Emily, oh my God, Jason is coming over today." Emily, "Want to come to the mall? I need to buy something sexy." Friend, "You are crazy. Is he not kind of old for you?" Emily, "What? 24 is not old." Emily, "He is so hot. I have to show you his pics." And then she proceeded to send her friend a bunch of pictures of Jason. But these were not normal pictures. They were not from his Facebook or Instagram. They were candid shots photos he did not even know were being taken. One was of him standing in our kitchen, another showed him napping on the couch, and the creepiest one, a picture of him walking down the street, like she had been secretly following him around. When I saw that, I felt sick to my stomach. I told Jason everything. Ever since then, we have stopped hanging out at my apartment. Instead, I have been staying at his place because, honestly, I cannot deal with this in my own home. It is frustrating as hell. I am paying for that apartment, but because my teenage sister cannot control herself, I have to give up my space just to get some peace. And the thing is, Emily is 18. She is not some clueless kid who does not understand boundaries. She knows exactly what she is doing. I am completely out of ideas. I have confronted her before, and it did not change a damn thing. My patience is gone. If she was just some random girl and not my sister, I would have thrown her out already. But here is the problem: if I kick her out, she has nowhere else to go. She just moved to this city for school, and while that is her problem, I know my parents will not see it that way. They always take her side, no matter what, and this is exactly why I do not have a close relationship with them. So now I am stuck. Do I sit her down one more time and give her a final warning? Do I call my parents and let them deal with it, even though I know they will just defend her? Or do I put Jason in the room with her and have him tell her directly that this will never, ever happen? Leaving is not an option. I have a lease that does not end until next year. and I am not about to waste my money just because my sister does not know how to act like a decent human being. And even if I did move out, she would not be able to afford the place, which means she would be forced to leave anyway. This is a complete mess, and I do not know how to fix it. My parents seem more concerned about keeping me and my boyfriend together than they do about my sister's behavior. They see Michael as a great catch, tall, good-looking, on his way to becoming a lawyer, and they have this ridiculous dream that we will get married and have intelligent children. They do not actually care about how I feel. They just do not want anything to mess up this picture-perfect future they have imagined. They assured me they would talk to Emily, make her understand that her actions were unacceptable, and hammer it into her head that she was on the verge of ruining both her living situation and my relationship. They begged me to give her one last chance, promising that after their little talk, she would finally change. I told them I would consider it, but the second I hung up, I knew better. I have spent 18 years watching them coddle her, making excuses for everything she does. There was no way they were going to suddenly start holding her accountable now. Whether they talked to her or not, the very next day, Emily made a Facebook post that left no doubt in my mind that she had learned absolutely nothing. Sometimes you cannot let other people stand in the way of love. That was it. I had had enough. I sat her down and told her, point blank, that if she did not stop immediately, she was out. I made it clear that I knew exactly what she was doing, that it disgusted me, and that the fact she was willing to betray her own sister over a guy made me sick. I told her she was acting like some lovesick teenager, and while I could not control her feelings, I could control whether or not she stayed in my home. If she could not behave like a damn adult, then she had no business living under my roof. She rolled her eyes, completely unfazed. Then she had the audacity to say, "Michael is going to leave you anyway. You do not even try to look good for him." She actually had the nerve to criticize me for not wearing makeup every day, for dressing too plain, and for not putting in enough effort to keep my own boyfriend's attention. She said this city was full of beautiful women who could steal him away in a heartbeat. Then she crossed her arms and smirked. "You are not that much older than me. You are not my mother. You cannot tell me what to do." I stared at her for a second before calmly saying, "You are right. You can do whatever you want. But in the real world, actions have consequences. And in this case, the consequence is you finding a new place to live." That wiped the smirk right off her face. She started arguing that I could not kick her out, that it was illegal, that she had just as much right to be there as I did. Then she threw in, "I should not have to change who I am, just because your boyfriend is around." I simply told her she had 30 days to find somewhere else to go. She stormed off in a fit, but I did not care. That same day, I called my landlord and made sure everything was squared away. Since Emily was not on the lease, they did not give a damn. Then I informed my parents that my decision was final. She had until the end of the month, and that was that. They seemed genuinely shocked that she would act like this, which is hilarious considering they have spent her entire life enabling her. They blamed big city influence for her behavior, like she had magically changed overnight instead of them having spent years allowing her to do whatever she pleased. I chose not to involve Michael in this any further. Some people suggested that he should be the one to tell her off, but honestly, I do not see the point. He has already shut her down countless times, and given her reaction to my confrontation, I doubt hearing it from him would make any difference. This is between me and her, and I am handling it. However, I did order a small nanny cam to keep an eye on the apartment while I am gone, partly to make sure she does not damage anything, but mostly to protect myself and Michael in case she decides to start making false accusations. At this point, nothing would surprise me. I cannot help but wonder, was Emily always this selfish? Or did our parents' constant favoritism turn her into the person she is now? I honestly have no idea. But I do know one thing: I am done dealing with it. Hopefully, she will leave without causing more drama. That is all for now. Thanks for listening. So far, I have not heard from Emily directly because I have been staying at Michael's place, but my parents told me she will be out of the apartment by the end of the week. Her Facebook, however, is an absolute mess. Life is not fair. Nobody understands me. You cannot trust anyone, not even family. My life is ruined. I went ahead and hid her from my feed. I have better things to do than read her pity party posts. Tonight, I am going to watch some anime with my boyfriend and enjoy my evening. I have already served her formal eviction notice as of today, so there is nothing else to be said. Oh, and on a side note, some people have been messaging me, all up in arms because I mentioned that my parents think Michael is a catch because he is white. Let me make something very clear. I am not white. I am Asian. But I do not share my parents' outdated views. Michael's race has nothing to do with why I love him. I think he is an amazing person because of who he is, not because of what he looks like. My parents, however, are old school, racist, traditionalist Asian parents who categorize people into acceptable and unacceptable based on the most superficial things. A tall, white, handsome guy with a law degree, that is their dream. They think I would be an idiot to let him go because, in their eyes, I will never find someone better. It is a disgusting way to think. This is one of the many reasons why I am not close to them. I do not condone their mindset, and I am fully aware of how messed up it is. But I cannot control how they see the world. Anyway, I am done talking about that. Thanks again to everyone who has offered advice and support. It has really helped me feel more confident in my decision. Now I just have to make it through the next few days, and hope Emily does not pull any more ridiculous stunts before she is finally out of my life. Emily's friends all liked my cousin's comment, and after that, she stopped posting. I guess even her little circle of enablers could not defend her on this one. At some point, she must have decided that if begging me did not work, she would try going behind my back. She messaged Michael on Facebook. Now, we have a strict rule about not adding each other's family members on the Neno snooping, no unnecessary drama. So they were not friends on social media. But I had a feeling she might try something, so I warned Michael in advance. Sure enough, he came to me almost immediately after she sent the message. She wrote something like this: "Michael, please talk to her. I feel so hurt by what she is doing. I know you can convince her to let me stay. You are more reasonable than she is. Please, just talk to her for me. There will be something nice in it for you if you do." So yeah, she had learned nothing. Michael initially just told me about it, but after a few hours, it was still nagging at me. I asked him if I could read it myself, just to see for myself how low she was willing to stoop. Michael hesitated, clearly not expecting me to ask. He fumbled for a moment, then reluctantly handed me his phone. Turns out, he had already responded but had not told me. This is what he said: "Emily, I am with your sister. This is her home, and it is her decision whether or not to let you stay. You cannot ask me to go against her because I support her choices completely. We are a team, so please do not ever put me in a position where I have to take sides because it will always be hers, not yours. I think the best thing for you is to go back home. Also, I hope to be your brother-in-law one day, so I want to be kind to you. But honestly, the way you are acting is really unflattering. It is not attractive. If you keep acting like this, the only kind of guys who will pay attention to you are the ones who will never give you the kind of real, loving relationship you are looking for. The stuff that might have impressed people in high school does not work the same way in the real world. You deserve better than that, but you will not get it acting like this. I am not trying to be mean, just honest. I hope you take this as a chance to reflect and make better choices in the future. I swear, I could not love this man more." He told me he had not mentioned his response because he was a little embarrassed about lecturing her like that. But I was over the moon, especially about that brother-in-law comment. It made a horrible week so much better. Right now, we are seriously considering having Michael move in with me, replacing Emily on the lease and turning her old room into a guest bedroom. If not, we will just start fresh in a new place once my lease is up. Meanwhile, Emily switched from being furious to being absolutely desperate. At first, she hit me with the usual insults. "How does it feel to throw your own sister out on the streets, you heartless bee?" Asterisk. I will never forgive you for this. But after Michael shut her down, the tone of her messages changed. She started pleading. "I need to live in the city. It is closer to school. I will do anything to stay. I swear, I will never even look at him again. Please, just let me stay. You will not even know I am here. I promise I will be gone most of the time. I do not even like your boyfriend. Can we just forget this happened and go back to normal?" I told her no. I had already given her a chance, and she had thrown it right back in my face. There was nothing she could say to change my mind. If she wanted to stay in the city, she would have to figure it out herself. When move-out day finally came, she refused to do any of the work. She sat in the car, sulking, while my parents packed up all of her stuff for her. She had the same bratty attitude she has always had. The world is against her, and none of this is her fault. Honestly, I do not think she learned a damn thing from any of this. So that is it. There was not much drama in the final days before she left. I plan to keep my distance from her for a while and see if my parents actually hold her accountable for once. If they start making excuses for her again, I will pull back from them too. Michael and I are stronger than ever, and I am so glad we made it through this without it turning into some Reddit special where the boyfriend was secretly cheating the whole time. That is all. Thanks to everyone who gave advice and support, it really helped.